Good evening, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Talkback with Thane and Sophia. We're live across Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch tonight and broadcasting at talkback.co.nz. Sophia, it's Tuesday, the 22nd of October. Welcome to the show. How are you?
It's the 26th, Thane. I'm fantastic.
What did I say? Did I say the 26th?
22nd.
Oh, shit. Sorry. 22nd, everybody. What a day.
26th.
26th, everybody. So weird. Anyways, welcome. How was your day today?
It was really good. It's really good. It's like a real fucking juggle. Like attempting to do any work and then also like the washing and then 3 kids and like going to the parks and they want to go like to another park and you don't want to disappoint them because they're kids and they're cute and they need time outside and all that good stuff. So we went to another park. And it had a beach attached to it, so we got to touch the sand and everybody felt fantastic. But then they wanted a picnic at the beach for dinner. I didn't have any dinner with me, and that was a real stick in the mud. And now I feel like I failed. But I took them, it's never enough, is it? And then now I'm doing work, and it's all. And that's how I feel every day, I think. I think everybody feels like that right now.
Everybody all masked up at the park?
Not really, Thane. Not really.
Yeah. Right up there with
sometimes.
Right
Some
up there
people.
right up there with Māori and Pacific Islanders getting vaccinated. Very low turnout the last couple of days, which is a bit of a shame.
Really?
Yeah, come on, guys, do your bit as a New Zealander.
Well,
Let's
I wonder
keep
what
going.
that's. Yeah, I mean, have they pinpointed what's going on? Are people asking other people what's happening and what their reasoning is? Not in an interrogating way, but just in more of a wonder what the deal is.
I have no idea. There's so many people giving their opinions. It's crazy. I don't know what to believe anymore. Anyways, let's go and check in with our fact checker, Benny Mack. I've got a very mainstream opinion, a populist opinion about everything anyway. Benny Mack, good evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be back. I feel like I had an early retirement over the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. But look at you, back in the hot seat now.
I'm vigorous. I'm feeling excited. I did some international training. I actually featured on an American and also a Indian state podcast last night. And I can tell you, the podcasting world is growing exponentially. Tonight's show is going to be a banger. We've got Maddie B. I'm hyped.
Yeah, I mean, why not? He is a very popular guest, that's for sure. And I can't wait to. In fact, he's just arrived, so we're going to chat to Maddie B right now. Let's. Matt Bowden, welcome to the show. Kia ora, how are you?
Hey, greetings, people. How are you guys doing?
Really,
Good.
really
Nice
good.
to see you.
Excellent.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah.
So what's been happening this week? Well, we're on Tuesday, but Oh my goodness me. Oh, sorry,
What's
Matt.
going on?
I'm coming back for that answer, but have you noticed that Luke's eyebrows look dyed? Can we take a moment for let's just quickly alienate him and zoom in there. What's happened here?
Well,
Yeah, mate.
Thane sent me off to the beautician to get my eyebrows, tinted for the show. He said to me, "If you're not coming back on the show unless you get your eyebrows tinted." So what do you think?
Wow.
Yeah,
Mate.
no, okay. Yeah.
You look fantastic. There's something, you're looking very youthful. I love him.
You
This
like
is
that?
incredible. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you look, what's that character for? Is it like
Groucho Marx?
Peanuts? No, Peanuts, from Snoopy.
What do you think, Matt?
Someone said meth head Matt. Peace and love to you, brother.
no.
I haven't done meth for at least 10 years. I did used to take meth, but I'm actually pretty clean and I'm totally sober at the moment. But thanks
Don't
for
worry
remembering.
about those guys, Matt. They're from YouTube, which is that's a different story over there. Anyways, what do you reckon of the eyebrows, Matt? You like Luke Dallow's eyebrows? Yeah, different,
Oh,
aren't
that's
they?
Those are good. I remember when I was a kid, I used to sit next to Philip Sherry's son in school. And Philip, I think, really, he took the cake for eyebrows, but he's now no longer with us. And I think we have finally a worthy contender for top New Zealand eyebrows. Yeah, look at them.
Did you?
Wow.
What?
You have
No,
birds
we need
nesting
to
in
have
them?
a bigger conversation about this.
You
What
guys-
did you actually do? They,
I went to Brows R Us and they tattooed.
but no one's open.
Oh no, I just knew this guy down the road up in Ponsonby, and he saw me on the show and goes, "Look, I'll do some eyebrows for you for free for the show." And because Thane was giving me hassles about not having any eyebrows,
Yes, that's right.
so,
Nice.
he's done a good job. What do you
Oh,
think?
look. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. They look like we almost got a bit of charcoal.
No charcoal. No, they're tattooed.
Fantastic. Oh, well, I support it, Luke. I support it. I mean, you're into improvement, and this is you.
Football
If he could do your hair as well,
Oh no.
do you
he's
think?
not-
Someone said, did Luke spend $4 million on eyebrow implants?
Oh, yeah. So the other night when Luke was on, Luke, I don't know if you remember telling everybody that you sold a $4 million house, and then and then about 10 minutes later, you were like, I sold a $6 million house, and it was like exponentially growing in worth. It was quite fantastic. I think you also said you were going to give me all your money that you made on it too, because you're like, it's not about the money. I don't care about the money. And I was like, cool, I'll have it.
All about the client. I love the client. They're fantastic.
So-
Hey, so
I
Matt,
just
how
write a check.
It's not about me, mate. It's not about me.
It actually is about you right now, Luke Dallow. We've just had some information come through. He's looking 10 years younger, 70% better non-verbal body language just by
Great.
using the eyebrows alone, 45% are more attractive to the opposite sex, and a staggering 75% more attractive to the same sex. And ratings in the key female demographic, 45 to 75, the elderly women just love them, and so too do the middle-aged women. Looking good, tattoos or not. I want to get myself tattooed. I mean, I've got dark eyebrows, but maybe we could sort of fatten
Lighten
them
them
up.
up. Well, you
There's
just put a bit of
always
English
more
on.
eyebrow available.
Them up.
Yeah. Thank you very
And
much,
that's a
mate.
fact,
Perfect.
Oh, well,
Hey, we burnt like 5 minutes on your eyebrows, mate. I think let's move on. Thank you very much for arriving and gracing those eyebrows. Hey, now back to Matt. Matt, how long have you been back in New Zealand? And tell the people where your last destination was.
I was living in the Netherlands, and it got a little bit chilly because we'd been in Thailand for 5 years. So we bopped back to Thailand for to see our friends when COVID came and locked the door. The EU border closed, and we were stuck there on an island for a bit, and then we kind of evac'd back here in the first kind of lockdown, and it was kind of weird coming back to New Zealand with everything closed. Yeah.
And when did you develop your very positive, sunny disposition from? Because having you on the show, you've really come back and you've kind of been very an upbeat type of guy when most people are a little bit down in the dumps or getting their eyebrows tattooed.
I was down in the dumps when everything kind of went a little rough for me there when the government changed the laws and I lost all my assets. I obviously had millions of dollars and lost it all, and really learned how to find peace while I was sitting in Thailand, grieving and mourning and going through issues, how to find peace. And then from being at a place of peace, once you let go of all your attachments, then being able to find a place of joy and being able to access that whenever I feel like it. And I just try to just hang on to that now.
Could I ask, could you tell the new audience out there, how did you make your millions? Because there's, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur and make millions of dollars.
By selling drugs. Selling a lot of drugs. Right. So started out, we had an ecstasy death in the family, and another friend of mine died using crystal meth horrifically. And so I thought, this is no good. Why are the drugs illegal? Why don't we have quality control? So I went to Wellington to find out who writes the drug laws and started talking to them. Hey, let's do this, and develop some safer drugs. First, I set it up, so I wasn't really making a lot of money out of it. I just thought this was a good idea and let other people kind of make the millions. And then it got really hard to get them to give me money to steer the lawyers and develop the policies. So I thought I need to just restructure so I'm making the money. And then I started making millions of dollars, and which was cool. I was able to develop policy and do those things, but I don't really like. I didn't really like the feeling, to be honest.
How many zeros did you have? What did you get up to, man? What was the figure?
I think it's obscene when you talk about specifics.
Fair enough.
I mean,
But isn't it amazing that? Well, congratulations! You know, you made a whole lot of money, and what was it very traumatic losing a whole lot of money and all your assets? Do you remember? Can you take us back to that day? And how did you get past that trauma?
Yes, it was really traumatic. I thought that I was kind of bulletproof. You know, everyone was on side with me. The government were listening to me. We got to United Nations, and they'd said this is best practice, and I thought I was going to get knighted or something. You know, honestly, my head was out here. And yeah, I had a nice house in the country, and I had a beautiful cliff top sort of a pad, and I had another house somewhere else, and losing everything, yeah, it was totally traumatic. Mostly like the impact on my family, you know, my children and partner, and being told that we had to really get out of the country because they were going to try to put me in jail just to make me shut up.
Unbelievable!
Yeah.
Wow.
That is crazy, and you can still turn up with a smile on your face. That is impressive stuff. Yeah.
Look at that. That is energy. That is the universe right there, isn't it?
I think a lot of people are going to lose their assets. A lot of people are losing their businesses, and it's the most horrific thing when you've bought your house and you're all set up and you've got your car and you've got your savings, and it's terrifying to think you might lose it all. But you know, the truth is, none of that stuff really matters.
100%,
Honestly.
Matt. You're totally right, Matt. None of that stuff matters. You know what matters is time and family, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
No, I beg to differ there. I think it's, you know, to a point, money doesn't matter, but to a point it's freedom of choice, and it's being able to care for your family, and you know, it is important. Over a certain amount probably is, you know, unnecessary, but you know, I don't think you can say that it doesn't matter.
No, the point is, it does matter because money gives you time. And to me, money gives me time to do things, right, which is really valuable. And that time is about, you know, spending time with my daughter and my kids, you know, and getting eyebrows tinted.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, and giving your kids, you always want to give your kids a better life than you had. Isn't that the way that we all sort of try and parent, you know?
Yeah, we want to give our kids something a little bit more than our parents gave us, which gives us, you know, like it stacks up.
Yeah. You got to
and
leave
that's
a
not
little.
always monetary.
True. But it's nice to leave a legacy, isn't it? Everybody, you know.
I've got a set of golf clubs.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah, that's what I got when my father passed away. I got a set of golf clubs. So if I can give my kids a set of golf clubs and 12 balls, I've done better than him, right?
There you go.
That's for sure.
That's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, can I ask Matt, so now that you're back, how are you cobbling some cash together? Is that too personal, or are you working on a lot of projects?
I'm working on a few projects. Yeah, I'm passionate about trying to do something to solve what I see as a problematic equation that needs solving, which is the tearing apart in our society of the people that want to go pharmaceutical medicine and the people that don't want to go pharmaceutical medicine. I just see that as an equation that needs solving, really. And I don't think the way we're going at the moment, we've just pushed them into it. I think, I don't think that's going to work well. So I'm working on that.
So what does your solution look like in terms of step by step, and what are you proposing?
I think that if remember with the drugs, when we told everyone just say no, and we said, don't do drugs, it's bad. We tried that for 50 years, and just say no didn't work. I've got a feeling that telling people just get vaxxed might also not work, that quite a lot of people don't want to do it, okay? And so for those people, I think we need to do everything we can to look after them and not just beat them up and say, you're not allowed to come to the party more, you're not allowed to go to the supermarket, you're not allowed to have a job. Let's just fucking look after them. Excuse my language, if the standard is you've got a drug there called Comirnaty, which gives you maybe 80% protection against the virus. If that's our standard, 80%, what else gives you 80% protection? Let's find something else that's about the same. And let's put those things together, do the research really solid, and really look after those people, and then not judge, so that an employer can say, okay, what's your risk level? Oh, I've got an 80% protection level. Okay, that's one. You 80%. Okay, well let's not fight and say who's better. Let's just try to all just get our levels up as high as we can. The fact is that if you've got Comirnaty, you're on 80%. It might be that if you take the right, maybe vitamins or zinc or whatever it is, you might be able to get up to 90 or 95%. So let's just all do the best we can.
So what is it that you were saying? What's it called? What's it called? That
Comirnaty?
I'm freezing.
Oh no, you're here.
No, you're here. That's fine. What is the thing that you're talking about? What's that? Is it a drug? Is it a natural aid, or?
Technically is frozen now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should I start singing the song?
Oh.
Yeah. Hey,
I think it's time. No.
Hey, can I just say though, we were supposed to have a guy on the show tonight, and I won't say his name, but the guy on the show, I was reading a Facebook post.
Sorry, Thane. One of our listeners has said Comirnaty is the Pfizer product.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're around and you want to jump on and explain it, oh, hey, here's Matt. There we go.
Hey.
Pick it up on Comirnaty, mate.
That's my question.
That's okay.
Comirnaty, yeah. So that's the name of the Pfizer injection that's being dished out at the moment. Sorry? Yeah.
I did not know that.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Right. Okay.
I did not know that.
I was just talking about, because I saw it on your page, Matt, about almost vaccination apartheid, that type of using that terminology. And when I put that on a post today, boy, I got a lot of shit. People are, oh, this guy, apartheid. But anyways, there is a guy that has been kicked out of, has been given a letter. He's been renting a place, tenancy for 5 years. And he's been given a letter by his landlord saying, because of the current situation, we can't allow you to live in our beautiful house if you're not vaccinated. We're at the end of our tether. We now want everybody out. We want you to either do your part or you got to find somewhere else. Luke, is this happening around the place? Do you know of anyone?
I haven't heard that before, but that's rough.
Mm.
That is really rough. I do know that hospitality is definitely going down the track of you can't come in if you're not double vax. But I mean, I thought they would come under the same thing as supermarkets, essential sort of products. You just can't kick someone out. That's rough. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. I don't know whether they've got a legal standing for that at all, because surely that goes against the tenancy tribunal laws. I don't know quite how I'm wondering if they're boarding rather than renting. Because the letter says basically anyone who's in their home, and I'm wondering if that's maybe they're boarding inside that person's home rather than renting a place where they would be isolated. I don't know.
Good point, Sophia, because there might be just a boarding house where there's multiple people, just a house that you're renting for yourself and your siblings or flatmate.
Yeah.
Mm. Maybe. Who knows? But anyways, don't you think it's against
the
human
person
rights?
doing anything else to manage their immunity?
Say that again, Matt, sorry? Say that again, Matt. What are you saying?
Is the person doing anything else to manage their immunity? Like, are they likely to get sick, or have they had the virus before, or are they protecting themselves in some other way? Because, for instance, with high levels of vitamin D, you get almost the same kind of protection. If you've got zinc at the right levels, then the virus can't really replicate in your cells anymore. With a combination of the right nutrients, I think you could probably get the same sort of level of protection. And at that point, is it really fair to discriminate?
I think.
What are the levels? What are the?
Sorry, Sophia. I know that this person is very, very fit, and they're a real guns out type of person, jet skier. So I think they're getting a lot of vitamin D. But no, I don't have any other information other than that. But do you think people who aren't getting vaccinated are getting a little bit of an easy ride now, team? Because I noticed that even myself, I'm going, hey, don't discriminate. They're going to do it now. Before I was like, come on, you're going to do this or else we're going to have. Is everybody let up on the people who haven't been vaxxed? What about you, Luke?
No, they haven't let up. My group of friends haven't let up. We want everyone vaxxed and pushing hard for it, and pretty strong to get everyone vaxxed. But then again, I'm in a bubble of Herne Bay, St Mary's Bay, Freeman's Bay. It's different from South Auckland. I mean, if I went back to my hometown in South Auckland, it'd be a bit different. Maybe I should go back there and just have a little bit of a chat to a few of my mates down there and get a few of their mates in whānau sorted. But,
Not with those eyebrows, Jesus.
Oh no, they're very Polynesian.
Boy, it must be pretty hectic at the old Herne Bay Swingers Club. Anyway, sorry, what about you, Matt? Are you finding that's not swinging? Are you finding that people are letting people off who haven't been vaccinated? They're going a little bit easier on them or harder?
I'm encouraging people not to act in an abusive manner towards somebody based on their medical preferences, because I think it is actually abuse. What we're being encouraged to do is abusive. And I think that it's better if we can ask somebody what they're doing to protect themselves. If you're concerned about somebody that they might be going to be infected or transmit COVID, then they might actually have a better plan in mind. I mean, it's great that Pfizer have this solution, which they've sold the government, but it's not the only solution. You know, there are other ways to protect yourself from a virus. And I believe that there are other ways that are as good. And so what I'm just doing is pulling together a team of suitably qualified experts to just review and see what are the things that we could do to really lift us. If you've had the vaccine, what can you do to lift it up another level? And if you haven't had the vaccine for whatever reason, what can you do to get up to the same sort of level? What we really need is one standard kind of a warrant of fitness for your immune system. And then if your mates are saying, instead of saying, did you get jabbed? It's like, how strong is your immune system? Have you had an immunity test? What would you look like on a warrant of fitness? And maybe if there's, they're really healthy and they're unlikely to get infected, maybe you shouldn't be hassling them at all. You should be listening to them.
What do you... Sorry, Luke.
Sorry, Matt. What flavour vape are you vaping there, Matt?
Sorry?
What flavour?
Am I vaping?
You got a little purple thing in your hand, I noticed.
I don't vape. I took the lid off a water bottle. I don't vape. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't really smoke cannabis.
Sorry, I thought it might have been
Don't worry, eyebrows. Settle down, mate. Hey, Dave.
It's like a Dallow or something. Not today, my friend.
Dave, what do you say to Dave Herbison? He says, and what a name, Herbison. Seriously, we're not still going down the path of healthy lifestyle as an alternative solution, are we? What do you say to people like that? Because they're out there. This is a bit too hairy-fairy.
I actually think that being healthy is going to be a real key thing to survival moving forwards. When we're in the middle of a pandemic, it's not... sure, we've got a big pharmaceutical solution, but if the issue is sickness, then the solution should be health, really, shouldn't it? It's the comorbidities the problem. How are you going to avoid comorbidities unless you actually make a commitment to living healthily?
Yeah, it should be part of everybody's makeup. Jody Clark says, I have seen firsthand family saying to other family, unless you're vaxxed, we don't want to see you. Man, that's intense.
That's around transmission, though, isn't it? So we're talking about people being worried about transmitting this as opposed to whether or not, the other person is going to be healthy and survive. And we have seen healthy people, go down with COVID, and it's been just as tough for them. I think vaccination, people that are in ICU, there's very little that are vaccinated that are ending up there.
We could also be analysing, though, and saying there are majority of people in ICU have got VDD. Now, I know that sounds like something rude, but it's vitamin D deficiency. If you look at the stats, I'm just using vitamin D as one example. We could also be, instead of just having one variable, this is the number of people that are vaccinated in a hospital versus unvaccinated. We could be saying, okay, how many of those people had low vitamin D? How many of them had high vitamin D? How many of them had an inadequate zinc level to repel the virus? Because we know if you've got zinc and enough zinc in your cells, then the virus can't replicate. So instead of just looking at one variable, let's use a multi-variable analysis. Let's get really clever with this and say, we've got the vaccination message. Know that that's our first level of protection. What are the next levels? We could look at the bloods from hospitals around the world and analyze for other biomarkers. Then we can find other layers of protection. And for those people who, for religious or medical or whatever reasons, don't want to take this vaccine, there might be other things that they can do which could be even stronger. And I think it's okay to do that. My concern here is if there's people who are stopping talking to family members who are not going to talk to you anymore, what's the mental health impact on those people? And is that really a good behavior we want to encourage? Or should we be standing up and saying, hey guys, that's not the right way to act towards your family?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't think that we could sit here and say that people have got low vitamin D without knowing their medical history. I don't think that that's responsible. And, you know what the levels are of vitamin D and zinc and where that science is? You know, is anybody looking at that?
I think about 40 nanograms per mil of vitamin D is a good sort of level, about 20 is low. And I think you can go to the pharmacy. I went to the pharmacy today and picked up a test kit. It's in the other room where you just prick your finger on it. Mine's actually for something else. Okay, I'm a 50-year-old man. I'm going to test myself for prostate cancer, you know. But you can get them for vitamin D. And there's not a good one for zinc. So I'm developing those. I'm working with the team to develop those so that we can make one test kit that you can do a warrant of fitness for your immune system, whether you've had the vax or not. So you know how well you can defend yourself against a virus if it comes along.
I didn't realise you get those tests. That's pretty cool. So when you do it like a prick test to do vitamin D, any other vitamins, or do you know? I don't know. I've never heard of that. Wow.
Sorry, I've just buzzed out and lost that question.
Sorry, mate. I didn't realise you get test kits for vitamin D, all those. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And where do you get those? Just from the local pharmacy?
From the pharmacy, yeah. You can go to the pharmacy and there's a little test kit and you got to prick your finger on it and it'll tell you what your vitamin D levels are. And so what we want to do is quickly establish what the right levels are to give you this, a real high percentage protection against virus. And a lot of the people, if you look, there's a lot of research being done. There's one I saw the other day, 50,000 people looking at the correlation between low vitamin D levels and, serious illness from COVID. And the correlations are about as kind of similar to the correlations between unvaccinated people getting really hurt. And so we need to bring that into the conversation. And now I think that we might have reached saturation with the vaccination message. And I think it's time to talk about the next layers of protection. And they are things like vitamin D and zinc and natural things that normally don't get much of airtime because they're not profitable, and so there's no one with a patent on them sort of pushing and pushing and pushing.
Matt, I absolutely agree on that. I think we have reached a plateau now in the numbers, or the numbers speak for themselves. Vaccinations are virtually slowing down and stopping. Let's just address a couple of these messages here. Leroy Shepherd, we need to work on solid facts to get us going. Not let's take a men's multi and see what happens in a month. Amanda Thorne says loads of international studies showing efficacy of vitamin D for reducing transmission. And another one here from Hayden Brown. Nicki Minaj got swollen testicles. Thank you.
Apparently, her cousin or something.
Right.
Which
is
ridiculous.
The zinc, that's not the zinc you put in your face, that's real zinc, That's like...
Well, it is actually the same elements, if you remember the periodic table there, but don't use the face stuff and eat that. I'm not sure what else is in it. Go and talk to your pharmacist about boosting your zinc levels and there's different types of zinc joined onto different kinds of chelates for different types of absorption. And I can't make a recommendation right now, but some of them are a better than others.
I ate some of that fluorescent zinc. I was about 15 and ate some of that fluorescent zinc, and it came out, I tell you. It came out bright orange.
Sheepers creepers. Thanks. Jay Bishop says, why would I clash an allergy I have with a jab that could seriously harm me as a result, Matt? Is that a question you can answer?
Well,
is his question about, is he talking about being allergic to something which is in the jab?
I'm not
We wanna
sure.
talk
Can
about
you
that?
elaborate, Jay? That would be
Yeah.
interesting for us to have a chat about. I think
Maybe he's
the
allergic to
one thing that
polyethylene
you've
glycol.
Maybe. Sorry, Sophia?
That had a note for me when you said we've reached saturation with the message around vaccination, because once we do get to that point, it is a bit of a hard one. Like, where do you go from there if people don't want to be vaccinated? There's not much else you can do if the messaging's going out and there's still no response. I suppose it's good to have different ways of communicating or other things that they can do so that they can still be a part of society, but also putting in different options for people to, even if they have had that vaccination, bring up their immunity. I mean, definitely better to be as healthy as you possibly can be. When you say around the vitamin D levels that are healthy, so for example, if you get those little, is it the drops that you can get in the pharmacy? I mean, is it a crazy amount to be taking, or is it just something you can pop into your daily routine?
What I advocate doing is for people to. I think the first thing we need to do is I've got a team doing a literature review so that the dosages that we're looking at and the levels that we want in our blood are, we've got a team of scientists sort of advising on that. That's the first thing to do. Next thing is it's not just swallowing handfuls of pills. I think what we need to do is use your supplements, take a blood test and work out if you need to go up or down. And that's why we do it with a blood test rather than just saying take 4,000 pills a day. There's a limitation on how much vitamin D you should take a day. I think it's about 4,000 international units, up to less than 4,000 IU per day. You shouldn't get sort of dodgy side effects. More than that, that's kind of the upper limit. Some doctors are saying take 10,000 a day, but 1 or 2 is probably better.
Matt, can I ask who's paying for your, Pfizer, and we know the big corporates are getting paid sometimes by governments and what have you. Who's paying for your research? And, is it a big corporate, or what's the story there?
No, I am asking around for funding at the moment and thinking, do I do a GoFundMe, or do I get sponsorship, or do I ask? Yeah, I haven't quite worked that out yet. So.
Right, okay.
Might be a GoFundMe coming up soon. And then I need to make a decision really as to whether this is just going to stay as a not-for-profit, or if to bring money in, if I need to monetize it by setting up a franchise of clinics or something like that. I don't know. I'm not actually trying to make money out of this myself. I'm trying to do something right, for the community.
Fair enough. Well, that's good to know, isn't it? You should talk to C.B. Woodhouse. That guy's got some big ideas and money. Would you take money off anybody? No.
If someone's really good at fundraising, give us a yell. If someone out there is really good at that side of it, because
Have a telethon.
Yeah, the Vaxathon. Yeah. Hey, but what we're up against here is time, right? Yeah, the government's put us under the illusion that we will have Christmas out and about and everything will kind of be back to normal. When are they talking to you, Luke, about hospitality being opened? Because they've kind of taken everything away now, haven't they? And kind of said,
they're slowly introducing it. They're just slowly rolling it out, and we're probably a week and a half away before they start touching hospitality. Hey, look, I thought it was really good and good news today. That I heard today was like mandatory to have everyone vaxxed and hairdressers and stuff like that. So I haven't really looked at the news today. I've been busy. But
hospital staff have got to get vaxxed, basically, if they want to do it.
I reckon it's fantastic. They've got to do it. I mean, geez, personally, I'm really sorry. Personally, we need to do it. We need to look after my staff and need to look after my customers.
Yeah, okay. Message in from Melissa Matthews. I guess the vax is a short-term approach to get things going again, while the research into longer-term, more holistic approaches can be established.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I like that point.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Well, we
we're at a
should have
point where
started
even like the
holistic
government's
research
struggling.
years ago.
Say that again, Matt.
We should have started doing the research years ago. It'll take about 6 weeks to do literature review, and then we should be up and running with this. But right at the start, at the pandemic, I was suggesting, hey, let's start doing animal tests on... I know I'm really unpopular when I talk about animal tests. I should not use that word anymore, but we could have been doing it 2 years ago.
Wow. 2 years ago when it all started and kicked off. It's
That's
unbelievable.
A lot
Yeah.
of money spent.
Has anyone done any alternative testing globally?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. Has anyone done any animal testing globally, Matt?
Alternative.
Natural alternatives? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I got really unpopular talking about animal
Wow.
testing last time, but we could do it. We could be doing it here now. I think there are some animals which roughly kind of mimic humans for COVID. No one wants to talk about animal testing. I'm really edgy about it. I got served last time round.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, from the message, Rosie saying, but we don't know the long-term effects of the short-term vaccine approach. There is no data, which is true. And Wade, if they have it, sure as hell hasn't been presented by New Zealand media. Yeah, it's a little bit of a worry though when all the big networks have got their hands out for all the kind of the government cash to prop them up, and they've still got to tell us the truth at the same time, you know. And I was watching a documentary on YouTube saying that Pfizer sponsors pretty much nearly every news show going, from CNN right through, you know, Fox. So I mean, it's a tough one. Mainstream media. Do you think they've done a good job, Sophia?
Mainstream media.
Yeah, at reporting COVID and bringing you the facts, or do you think they leave stuff out?
Well, I think they always leave stuff out. I think that media in general drive home what works for them and what is the popular view, because that's, I suppose, you know, they're not here to alienate people. They're just sort of put out the most widely acceptable views so that people digest the information and come back for more. That's how I see it. It's not necessarily always about the truth, because that's often complicated and nuanced, and people don't want to take the time to understand nuance of human behavior and or what's going on. They just want the facts, you know, give us, what do we need to do? Come on. You know, what's happening? That's it. Okay, great. Move on with my day. You know, people are busy.
Yeah, the once over lightly. What do you reckon of New Zealand media's coverage of everything COVID, Matt?
I just feel that being here in this room right now is such it's a breath of fresh air, because I feel like we are actually able to speak. I feel like the media have really, I think that they've been steered, and I think that they've been silent on too many issues, and the questions that everybody's asking, I'm not seeing being covered by the media. It seems like there's something wrong, actually, to tell you the honest truth.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
Like that.
Yeah. There's only one message coming out of the media, isn't it? It's going to be all hell and damnation for the anti-vax. There's no talk of any natural remedies going on, and there's just threats. It's all a bit of threat, isn't it? A lot of threats.
I remember when we were smack bang in the middle of this lockdown thing, and I said to you, why have we never ever seen any footage from anyone inside the what is it called? You know, whether you have to go if you were being taken off to to the managed facilities.
Yeah.
And it was like you saw people who had flown in, but you never actually saw anyone until that lady complained about the pizza situation. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's interesting, you know, like finally we're seeing something, and it's not really positive information. And then what I didn't like was the way that they turned that story into her being an insane person. It's like her kids weren't fed. She's not insane. She's just trying to make sure that her kids were fed, and it was, you know, completely flipped, which I didn't really like. So I just thought it was weird that we didn't have any there's never been any question. There's never been any conversation. It's always just been really straightforward, one way, and that seems strange.
Highly discriminatory media coverage, unlike anything seen before. And Ben Little's asking me if I've been vaccinated. Yes, I have, actually. I've been double vaxxed, everybody.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Kiwi Bear says Sophia is now over the target. I'm not sure what that means.
no.
Elaborate if you feel like it.
Who's Kiwi Bear? He's chatting a bit.
He is. But also, Kiwi Bear is saying he likes a natural approach too. So it is quite popular. Are you betting on the Melbourne Cup, Luke?
Absolutely, I'm betting on the Melbourne Cup. We've got a bit of a part.
Oh, sorry, what?
Oh,
Yeah, I'll be here by myself watching the Melbourne Cup.
Okay, no parties. Boy, that's an instant $300 fine, Luke, if you were breaking the
and I'll
rules.
tell you what, and you did already admit to that the other night when you were out with your friends having 6 bottles of champagne, your $6 million.
Remember?
Eh?
What did I say? I don't remember.
You and a few mates were having 6 bottles of champagne to celebrate your big house sale.
Oh yeah. I got
Buddy boy.
I got dispensation from Clark David.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Okay, it's all right then.
Cool.
Excellent. Oh, well, you know what? It is refreshing. Thank you very much, Matt, for giving us your time tonight. I really appreciate it. And you know what? It is a fresh point of view, and I'm glad you're sharing it tonight. You know, you got a lot of support out there. Don't take any of a lot of comments to heart. The ones coming off YouTube, we get a lot of trolls coming through, but we block them as we go. But there's a lot of people who think you're doing a great job. So thank you very much for coming on. It is a brave thing putting yourself out there, you know, and chatting about your opinions.
So it'll be so bland and so it'll be horror. I love Gray, and Matt. I think it's fantastic. You're putting something in the fire. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
thanks. I think that we just recently had the United Nations Charter on the Indigenous people's rights, and we were just starting to set up a health system so that Indigenous people are allowed to have their own beliefs about health and so on. And so I've been really looking forward to seeing more natural medicine coming to the fore. I know we've just regulated traditional Chinese medicine, so I'm just waiting to see what else is coming, and as we start building for the, you know, what happens after the vax message.
Yeah, okay. Fantastic. Well, hey, if you get a GoFundMe going, please let us know all the details so we can promote it and have you on to talk about it again. Always a pleasure, mate. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt.
Everybody.
See ya. Yeah, Matt Mace is making a lot of sense, and I'm glad we have him on the show. That's for bloody sure.
I think it's so important to have conversations. I don't understand, like, it's okay to have different beliefs or, you know, I mean, we're all sitting here, we're all double vaxxed, right? I don't know about Matt, and I wouldn't ask because it's none of my business. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt to have a conversation. And if you're not having a conversation, then you're alienating. But even if, you know, people aren't going to necessarily change their viewpoint on anything unless they're having a conversation where they feel included and respected in the conversation in the first place, which is one of the problems where when you kind of stigmatize people and push them away, well, then they're afraid to have conversations at all. So how are they ever going to, I mean, if they were going to come around and go, okay, well, I'm happy to do that, then it's not going to happen when you're just pushing them away. It's only going to happen when they've,
I totally agree. It's great to have a conversation, and that's why you have friends. Is I don't agree with Thane, I don't agree with XYZ, I don't agree, but we've had this good conversation. It's robust, healthy for your mind.
Yeah, that's for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, hold there. Let's go check in with our facts guy. healthymind.co.nz. Hello, Benny. What do you got?
How you going? Yep, it totally checks out. Apparently, zinc is a real good one, and it also mentions here that chapstick is not. So, as Luke said, you don't want to be eating any sort of skincare product or applying oral. You know, you don't want to apply external things internally. We're having an awesome show. There are some trolls, but actually we're at the point of the show now, I think, where we open up the lines to the at-home callers because we want to understand what your opinion is. We want you to interact with us on a virtual, real forum. This is the forum. Let's cut to the wide shot. We are having a great time.
I've got a little question. I've got a little topic here. And I think we've got a good medley of people in the room and on the chat. So, okay. So we're talking about respecting everybody's opinions, and I'm seeing some comments come up around almost mocking people that are being vaccinated as if they're stupid or they're sheep or followers and they don't think for themselves and stuff. And I really think it's important to say that, people make decisions with the best information they've got at the time, and they do what they think is right. And that can also change. So I think it's important to respect everybody's choices, and not just people who don't want to get vaccinated, but also people who have got vaccinated. I mean, we've got a question here from Kiwi Bear. Double vaccinated, okay, will you accept a third next year called the Delta booster, please, panel? So, I mean, I don't know. I thought really, really long and hard about getting the vaccination because it felt really scary to me. I felt really threatened and very torn. I grew up in an incredibly holistic lifestyle. And I didn't want to go anywhere near it. And I didn't even know what it was. And when I spoke to a girlfriend of mine who was like, oh yeah, it doesn't work on your DNA. It works on like the one behind it. And I was like, what the hell? Is this thing going to just start turning me into a different human? And there's so much crazy information out there that can be really frightening. So what happens if the conversation goes both ways and we go, okay, well, hey, look, I'm double vaxxed, but I don't want the booster. I've got friends in the UK getting the booster. What happens then? Where do we turn? What if things go on? We want to have a conversation both ways there, and you need to be supportive all round.
Well, Sophia, I don't know if all about. I'm not a doctor. I know if all about, COVID. So I'm trusting the professionals that deal with it, right? And they're giving me the professional advice to get vaccinated. Just like Johnny down the road doesn't know how to sell a house. That's the professional. Just like Timmy doesn't know how to run a bar. You get professionals.
Okay. But I know a lot of dumb people that are in different professions that I don't know. There's some, there are some good and there are some not so good at their job. And I don't know whether or not, do you think, in all honesty, did you get vaccinated because you're like, man, I don't really know? Again, I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor. So we're trusting.
So,
who here got vaccinated and did not a stitch of research about the vaccination? Who was, me. Yeah. I was. I just went, okay, if this is me getting out of this lockdown, just give me a vaccination. And then, that type of stuff. I want to get on with work. I'm losing money. I'm losing my livelihood. And that's kind of why I did it. And also like this guy here, Leroy, because I want to go on a holiday. I want Christmas holidays with my family. I mean, give me a break. So that's what
Sophia, you talking about those professionals that did my eyebrows. I mean, they were in their profession.
Yeah,
right?
Them.
I mean,
them. Those are the people.
But, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
No, but you know what I mean, though. Sometimes you think you're getting the best, and it turns out you just didn't pick the right place. But at the end of the day, though, I do feel like everybody's sticking to their guns one way or another because they're frightened.
Yeah.
You're either frightened one way or you're frightened the other way. And the last thing that is going to do any good is for us not to listen to each other, or at least have a conversation and be supportive of trying to get to the end of this whole debacle still standing.
Sarah Gilmore says, I got double vaxxed in March as I work at the board, and now they say we need a booster as the vax is wearing off. Another message, fresh in Kiwi Bear. Okay, it's the Bill Gates seminars of the 90s. It's a $2 million to the Hillary Clinton. Fauci, Ashley Bloomfield, it's a $99 per jab rebate. It's a no, you can't have their jab, only these ones, etc. Doesn't add up. What else do we get? Hayden says, we got that one. What does Hayden say? He's saying, I got vaxxed, but I don't trust Big Pharma. They stop medications at work because they don't make profit. I mean, who do you trust?
Think about what they're profiting. Over in the States where they're changing all the prices of those kids' medications, and they've gone from like $2 to something like $400 a shot. Like, that stuff's scary. And it's okay to talk about how you go, hey, I'm going to get vaccinated, but I'm like a little bit fucking terrified here. Like, what if something happens and then my heart explodes and the children that haven't had a vaccination or something are alive here, and I'm not. So it is a bit scary. There are these things going on, and I think the more that you ignore it, you go, oh God, you can't spread that kind of information. You can't say things like that. Well, why not? It's just, it's nice to have someone go, oh no, hey, look, I'm a doctor and I've done the research and this is what it looks like. And you don't have to be afraid. Or, hearing about alternative medicines. Hey, this is something else you can do. If you're not ready to go and get your vaccination, start with this, see how you go. Get some more research, get some more information.
You know what the best research is going to be in 20 years?
Sorry?
In 20 years' time, we'll be going, they're heroes. Or, that's the thing. I mean, hey, look, that's where I see it. I've got to run with it. I've got to live my life, right? We've all got to live our life. And I am not going to be, I'm going to trust science for my life because that's all I've got.
It's like when you get on an aeroplane, you just kind of have to go with it. There's nothing you can do now. This is leaving. We're on our way to Bali.
Exactly. And that's the way that it's going now. Clearly, even from what I've understood, is that the technology in the 18 months since we started locking down, the technology has started to improve. Upgrading security cameras, facial recognition, tech is advancing. Let's cut to the multi-screen shot. I feel self-conscious.
Ben, don't feel self-conscious.
Don't worry about it, Ben. Just mate. You want to feel self-conscious?
Okay.
Let's put your camera down.
Hey, Luke, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
And it's something I'm grappling with personally. So I'm a little bit like you, and I did do some research, but I'm also not from a medical profession or background, so I don't necessarily know the answers that I'm being given. I don't really understand what I'm being told. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, cool. Like I'm happy to get it, but at the same time, I probably didn't 100% understand what was being spoken about. But when it comes to my kids, that's a whole nother kettle of fish for me. I don't know how old your children are. I know you've got older children than I do, but I've seen that the FDA, they're approving between 5 and 11.
Right.
And I think that a whole lot of different emotions come up for many people that are double vaxxed, even when you're talking about their kids. I've got a couple of girlfriends who are like, yeah, mate, double vaxxed, I'm there yesterday. But then I'm like, oh, so you're going to get, and they're like, oh, well, they haven't even, I'm totally worried about that. They haven't even given it the go ahead. So I'm not even thinking about that. Hopefully it's a year away before I have to deal with it. Because
but as soon as they say that it's okay, as soon as they say that it's okay and that it's fine, then they'll want 90%, and then everyone will go and do it because that's the way it works. If you want your freedoms back, you do it.
Do you think that's the problem that people are having with it, is that it's not so much about getting vaccinated, it's about the fact that there's going to be demands, and if you say yes to one demand, that it might be a snowball?
It's the carrot and the stick. It's the carrot and the stick. Okay? The reward is just far enough away that they can change the stipulations of the contest or the race or the game in between that time that they deliver on the reward and they make good on what they're holding out from you. So and that's what they keep doing. They keep shifting the goalposts, and that can happen indefinitely.
Yeah,
and I think that's where that uncomfortable feeling comes from.
Sorry, Sophia. Chris Chetland. I was going to actually ask you to be a guest on the show. I was wondering if you could log in. There is a link on the comments section. If you want to talk about this boosters, I've been following Chris's page, and he's got a lot of very interesting things to say about immunity. So if you want to log in and have a chat, we'd love to have you. Jamie Oxley, live from Australia, from New South Wales. He'll be joining us. He's our truckie mate, and he had to go and get his jab, so he'll be talking to us about that, working us our way through the messages here. Kerry, good game. Oh, and why do people who have had COVID, that have natural immunity, have to risk the vaccine?
Yeah, that's interesting, actually. That's a good question.
That's effectively their choice, dependent upon their career and what freedoms they wish to choose to have in the future. So that's up to them.
Israel reporting double, only 39% effective. A hashtag fact. And Chris, you still on the thingy, Matt? Matt has just left, Chris. So if you want to join us, Chris, that'll be amazing. Hey, yeah. Also, what you're going to hear very shortly is Delta Plus. So that'll be sweep up the last bit of anti-vaxxers. We'll go, but you haven't heard from Delta Plus yet, and it's about to land. Yeah.
You should do like a Delta Plus mixtape. You know how like Danox used to always do the mixtapes? He should release a new mixtape for each variant, like the current vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And just like remix all the public service announcements and all the propaganda into an hour and a half of cool fucking uplifting funk, you know?
Yeah,
feeling
absolutely.
This fucking COVID fucking, it's bugging me out, you know? It's so good. I'm loving all this COVID
Hayden
talk.
has a good point here. He says, I just think it's that these big farmers are making money from people when a lot of people have no choice. They shouldn't be allowed to make money from it. I totally agree with that. And I think that's one of the portions of this whole thing that makes me a little bit uneasy, is because you've seen a whole lot of this money-making extremism and farmer overseas. And now, of course, that's what we're receiving here. And we are jumping on board with that because we're in a pandemic and it's a hugely crazy situation. Everybody wants to get back to their lives, but there's something, I think, that most people, double vaxxed or not vaccinated, can agree there's a little bit of a funny feeling around, and we just don't quite know where we're getting it from. It can, some people feel it's one way, the other people feel it's the other way, but I think it's the making money out of it that worries me. It just makes me feel a little bit uneasy.
I just don't think they're making money out of this one. And I hope they're not.
You don't think they're getting money out of it?
Well, they are going to make money out of it because obviously they need.
They've already made money out of it. What are you talking about? Who do you think bought you a shot for you?
Yeah, but I know, but not making like me selling a beer. That's making lots of money.
AstraZeneca is charging over $39 per shot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're not making no money, man. They're making huge fucking money, and they're selling hundreds of millions in advance to governments.
And what are they
The
giving on the
Oxford
back door?
vaccine
Pardon?
originally from sorry.
What are they giving in the back door of making that money? Are they obviously research and
No, but their research is funded. Their
what
research is paid for by a government anyway.
Are they
Get this. You know the Moderna vaccine? There was this one that was going to, that one's been cancelled, and there's this one for the Oxford. It was going to be produced by the Oxford University, all funded, and it was going to be effectively an open source vaccine that would be, this is what they spoke about early on, that it would go out, it would be an open source vaccine, and then that actually got turned into a revenue making vaccine. It all got sold out and redistributed.
Yeah.
So.
And that, because I read that article as well, where they were trying to give it out with not making money, and that was the deal, that they'd make it after the pandemic. And then they've since changed.
Very
that.
fishy. Irregardless of this fact, those facts, and other facts, are there any more sort of enlightening or uplifting or sort of positive, not COVID positive, but positive the conversation points that we can possibly
I will tell you something that is positive. I will tell you something that is positive.
Let's
this conversation right here is a positive space for so many people who have got little inklings. They're thinking things, they're feeling ostracized from conversations, they don't know what's going on, they don't know left from right, including myself. We're right in the heart of this situation, and we've been in lockdown 70 days or something. We're a bit over it, and it's nice to have a space where you can come and hear things that are a little bit different, and you're in a safe space, and you're welcome to join, and your comments are all lovely and fantastic, and we're not fighting. I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah. Have a little
and we've also got online 021 949 and we've also got the Streamlabs. Have we got the Streamlabs link available and handy?
Yeah, and I'll repost it again, guys, and put it in there. So if you'd like to jump on, you can.
Hey,
So
the next caller that calls up, I'll give them a free set of eyebrows.
Fantastic.
That's
Luke.
a
Thank
good
you very
deal.
much. Wow.
He bought a tattoo machine off Amazon.com. and he's using Indian ink from Ponsonby Road Primary School art department, and it's a long-lasting therapeutic, and it is microdermal equation.
Hi.
Yikes.
Hey, dude.
Hey, I've got some makeup news, guys.
He used it. It's actually equine tattoo. What he's got there.
Tattoo.
Hey, dude.
Tell us about this makeup news, Sophia.
What's the new makeup
Okay,
news?
makeup news. If you're a woman and you're watching this, or a man and you wear makeup, I'd just like to tell you that our country is running out of makeup. I went to buy my foundation the other day. I used like a super serum tint. It's like very naturally, it's a glow. Anyway, it's sold out. It's mostly white girl colors are sold out. So if you happen to be white and also wear makeup and you're running low, get in there stat.
Yeah,
I went through about eight different, all sold out.
Outlet.
It's just that and smelly candles, guys.
Yeah,
Off the shelves
candles.
like that.
Candles. Big time gone.
So it could be an opportunity to sort of get into some of that natural therapeutics, go down to the local creek, mine up a bit of mud, maybe put a bit of that porous limestone and rub it up all over your skin, give yourself a course. It's almost like getting Jif. Have you tried ever using Jif to sort of the first layer of your epidural? Epidermal. You don't want to mix the two up. It could be quite painful.
Stephen says you can monobrow those too, Luke. Do you think you'd ever monobrow those? That'll be good for tomorrow's show.
No, these are fucking not going away, man. These are real tattooed. Because you guys gave me so much crap last week. And
How do you even remember that? You were absolutely obliterated.
You should see my chest here now.
Do you watch the sort of replay in slow motion and sort of break down every sort of heartbreaking moment?
I refuse to watch that show. That's going to be the Christmas edition of New Year's Eve.
It was pretty funny. It was funny
people.
keeping you on track, you know? It was funny kind of like steering you in the right direction.
It was like, you know, when you go to Rainbow's End and you go into like that mining one, what's it called?
Log flume.
Whoa, watch out! That was you and us trying to keep you on the train track. It was horrific. Hayden,
what about you, Luke? Are you selling
Instagram message? Hayden, I'm keen.
Are you selling? I think toys are going out of fashion too. They're flying off shelves, and art supplies. Luke, what about air fryers? Luke, are you selling houses? What's the market like out there?
The real estate market in Auckland is going off the Richter scale. I mean,
it's going
it's just unbelievable. People are just not letting up. Interest rates are going up. They just keep going, bang, bang, bang. The fear of missing out's gone out of the steam of the old freight train. But people are just coming in. They're just coming in again.
Where are they getting all of this money from?
Trust fund babies.
Money's easy to borrow still.
Money's pretty easy to borrow. You know, you got a few.
And there's not much. There's not many international holidays happening at the moment, so that's still a way that a lot of people want to just blow their money every year. Spend $20,000, fly around the world.
Yeah, I thought Sophia did a bit off there, but you're just opening up your soda stream. It's.
Look at it this way, guys. Look at it this way. Most of these problems in the supply chain can be solved with mud. You know, the candles,
you're right,
out of mud. The house, I've heard of mud houses. Even like pottery, you can create it out of mud. I mean, you guys are just overthinking it all. You're trying to go for these sort of carbon fiber, these plastics, this pine. I'm just saying mud and straw, slap it together, and
Betty Mack, tomorrow night I'm going to put a mud mask on tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Just make sure that it's an appropriate colour. We don't want you to be cancelled for blackface.
Blackface would just top of your week off.
That would just sort of finish your real estate career, and I want you to win on. So make sure it's pale enough that you don't discriminate or make any problematic statements.
No, you've already got.
I'll put a mud mask on and a little red dot there. So, Sophia,
you are already on like your second strike. around the racism. You better go watch that show, buddy, because
Don't watch the show. Like, don't do it.
Oh, no.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
yeah.
Luke could design a nice $4 million bunker restaurant, but he's not creative enough. That's from Kiwi
Oh,
B. Hey,
yeah.
when we went down to
Sorry.
the, I like that big
Close.
restaurant down by William Wynyard Quarter, and they've got all the glass houses. Now they've got this big glass thing that separates everybody. Pretty bloody good.
Wow.
You go with the times.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Where is
That's really creative. Good George, I think it's called.
Good, George. Yeah, they got the right idea. They're
Yeah.
going for the future.
Okay.
I've got to go,
Stephen
guys.
says-
I've got to get my mud for tomorrow night. Lovely to see
Okay.
you all.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Why
Nice
don't you
to
go
see
back
you
down
too.
to where you went fishing out on the rubber ring and source some mud from that, and we want to see a little video.
Okay, I'll do a little video. Get the mud in it.
Thanks, mate.
No, no,
Chase
no,
that
you-
mud. Chase that mud. Get
Right,
that
my
mud.
wheelbarrow down there.
See you,
Okay.
pal. Bye.
He looked
Okay, we're
great,
at a
too.
crossroads here where I would like to hand the show over. I mean, what are you doing now, Sophia? Are you?
I am packing some orders for some retailers.
Mhm.
So.
Do you want to come back around the other way, Benny?
Yeah, I'll log in through the back door. Give me a
Okay.
couple of minutes.
Okay, let's go to our caller here. Hello, caller to Jamie Oxley from Wagga Wagga. How are you, matey? All right? We got
Yeah,
you.
we're not too bad. We just
Fantastic.
It
Welcome to
was
the
so
show.
cute to see your little kids the other night. Oh my god.
oh yeah. I was
They're delicious.
yeah, I was thank you. Bit drunk and it was kind of a serious show, so but that was all good. It was good fun. We had fun in the spa.
Hey, what did CB talk about? Was he having a good time or a bad time? I couldn't work that out. I wasn't watching. I had left, but then I kind of popped in from time to time.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just thought maybe that's just how he was. Yeah, had fun, but yeah.
Good.
I don't know. It's just sort of one of those things. I guess sitting in the spa, half drunk. Yeah, I had
Hot,
a whole lot
the
of
heat.
questions for Luke. Hot, yeah, that's it. But Luke wasn't there, but that's all right. And he's gone now. It can wait.
You
But
just
yeah.
missed him. Yeah.
But no, your vaccine chat was interesting though with Matt, and it was funny
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
always
what do you reckon?
remember him. Oh yeah, it's well for me. I didn't want to get it just because the government was telling me I had to do something. You know, like I was sort of, I guess, the rebellion. I mean, whenever someone says go and do this, I'm like, no, how about you go get fucked? You know, I'll do the opposite.
Yeah, I'm
But
like
then,
that too.
But then it came, what happened is the company I work for, they weren't mandating anything. They were trying to be the good guys and put it up, you know, to the government. But the government said no one that isn't vaccinated is allowed into the state. So effectively, I could go to work and never be allowed back home. And that really,
Oh God.
you know, that was quite hitting home. It was like, this is when it's got, so I had like 2 weeks. So I went and got the Moderna. That was, I just
Yeah.
thought, oh, because I like my job, you know, I don't want to lose that. So
But you also like your
it
home.
was like either,
It's-
yeah, and so I couldn't get through. So maybe if the Queensland border was 15 minutes from my house, I might be able to, might have not done it, but
Yeah.
because it was 4 hours.
Jamie,
So,
but what
yeah.
a remarkable way, if you didn't have a wife and kids and you wanted to break up with a partner, what a great way of tanking them. Sorry, can't get through.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, that was it too. But then also, like, I've loaded my truck if I couldn't get
Right.
through so I would have lost as well, you know.
Mm.
So
That shit.
they probably
Oh,
found something
no.
else, gone somewhere else. But so it was just sort of it wasn't much fun. But no, the Moderna was all right. But I'll put it on my Facebook. I actually legitimately felt like I'd had about 5. I was ready to party all night. Like, it was good people saying other things, but
Really?
my eyes felt like saucers, and it was a good time. I'd get it again, I reckon. You
And what about the
I'm not
King-
joking though. But
Really?
What's that? Sorry.
You reacted in that way? You felt like you had party pills on?
Yeah. The heart was racing. The eyes were a bit big. More,
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
But then, so I got it at lunchtime, And then I probably could have kept driving all night, but come at about 10 o'clock, I was just like, that's enough for the day. So I pulled over. I went to sleep straight away. But yeah, I was surprised by the reaction. I don't know if it was a placebo or what, but yeah, it was interesting.
Hey, so Jamie, did you remember when you mentioned eurythmy?
Yep.
Did you go to a Steiner school as well?
Yeah, I went to Michael Park.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Do you know what I found the other day? I found a photo of my class.
Oh, wow.
And it's pretty Steiner school. And I thought I might share it with you.
Yeah. Can you do it?
See. I don't know how you guys chat amongst yourselves, and I'll try and see if I can work out technology enough to show you, and you can guess who's who.
I just with the chap on it by ourselves. What about Matt, who used to have Party Pill Empire back in the day, didn't he?
Yeah, that was.
You remember
I was going to say before. Yeah, it was funny because I was always big into them, and my head always was live. And Mum would go, "Oh, it's just another guy pushing drugs," and I'm like, "Yeah, but they're pretty good though." I was all about it. And then we used to have I think it might have been the second drawer next to the bed was pretty much full of them. And when you'd go out to town, you'd just go in the drawer and grab a pocket and give them to anyone who wanted one. It was good times.
Yeah, those were the days though. You could literally just bowl into one of those stores and they were selling them like lollies. You just push especially if there was the end of the line ones, you could just grab bags of them. I remember when they're going out, like it was the last day that they could sell them, and they were virtually giving them away.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Oh, yeah, it was good fun. I don't know about the next day or the weekend though. I don't know what was the worst. Yeah, what was the worst come down? But maybe it's because I'd normally have about 5 or 10 of them. It was never just one or two.
Exactly.
But
and that's when we were like, didn't give up an F about science. It was like you could smash 8 Red Bulls and like 9 of those party pills and be up all night.
Yeah. What for me? It was Globe Bar or the Loaded Hog down at the waterfront. That was real.
Loaded Hog. Oh boy. Yeah.
Or the waterfront bar. Have a drink and then you just throw your cup in the water.
That's right.
They must have gone through so many cups, but it was good.
Waterfront bar was legendary. That's right. They played a lot of hip hop there, That's where you went to the hip hop.
Yeah. And then there was it Matthew Ridge owned the float or Mark Ellis? One of them owned the float on the corner.
The float. Yes,
that was a good time.
Where I used to go.
They had Sports Cafe there.
Yeah.
They used to shoot for Sports Cafe there back in the day. That was a great little place. I remember Coast Bar, everybody? Coast Bar downtown?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Coast, you go up the elevators to the top and you'd look out over in the harbour. There was Coast Bar. There was Spy Bar.
Oh, yeah, see, that was, I was too bogan for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you used to walk out and it was daylight in Spy Bar.
Yeah. What about...
That's never good. Never good.
Oh, I remember going to a rave at the town hall, actually giving English mates heaps of party pills and then ending up on K Road at about, I don't know, as soon as it finished till about lunchtime, walking out with everyone in suits, feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah. And what about, you used to end up go to K Road. It was, I haven't been in years, but it's still there. But then you'd end up at that real weird railway station carriage place that we had the downstairs. It was in that kind of weird square. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It was like a railway carriage. And they used to have day parties till about 12 midday on a Sunday morning. By St. Kevin's Arcade, but further up. Yeah. Anyway, Supper Club. Yeah. Supper Club. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Bowden. That's right. 20. There you go. Those are the days. Yeah. So, but what a time. What a voodoo lounge. The Box. Wine cellar. All these old places coming through. Have you got any old memories of all this kind of stuff? Why don't you message them through? Yeah. The Ink Bar. Hey that's it. Ink.
How do you use Facebook? Because I am like incredibly confused.
Oh my God.
How do you find photos that you were tagged in?
No idea.
Yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
Globe Bar Wednesday used to do free punch. That was why I used to always go there. Because I'd get paid at
Globe Bar.
midnight.
Yeah.
Get free punch to the backpacker. So you had to chat up a backpacker, get a special card that said you stayed there, and they'd get free punch. And as soon as that was over, it would be about 10 o'clock. And hopefully someone would buy you a couple of drinks. Then I'd get paid at midnight, and it'd all be gone and go back to work.
Start again.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, your whole week's wage of being an apprentice gone in one night, back and then back to it again.
Hayden Brown, remember those good pills that made you think you needed to take a shit? Oh yeah, they were all a bit that way inclined. Even the real stuff. Caliber, Andrew David Cronk. Oh, Caliber, yeah,
Caliber. Oh yeah.
Whew. What was that place you
Crowbar
used to?
was a biggie for me.
Yeah,
Crowbar.
Crowbar. That was
Upstairs
another
at Crowbar. Wow.
Yeah. What was that bar? Did you want to go to the Chase Plaza just off Queen Street? There was a real, there was like Cactus Bar, and there was something else. I don't know, but they used to basically wear a hat and used to have dollar drinks, and it was like all night long, and it was crazy. Yeah. Anyways, so you've given up on that photo, have you, Sophia? That's a done deal.
You know what? I've just seen. Yeah, I
Margaritas, Matt Bowden. That's right. It was. It's margaritas.
I'd be interested to know, Sophie.
Called?
Oh,
sorry.
Galatos.
Matt?
Yeah, Galatos.
Yeah,
Galatos.
Galatos. That's right.
Galatos.
The box in Court Celeb was fantastic. Nathan Haynes closing it up. Oh man, Sam Hill at the box with Denver,
What's it called?
little Denver.
Fu
and
Zen.
Zen.
Fu and Zen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uber.
What was the first ever? Two. Mine
Pearl
was
Jam.
Lincoln Park, the town hall.
I found the photo, guys.
Oh right, share it.
I found the photo. And you know what? A funny first concert. My first concert was Pearl Jam, and I was invited to go by the the drummer of Pearl Jam, because I was living in an ashram, which is like basically a cult. But the drummer was also part of the American chapter, so he gave our ashram like 6 tickets and backstage passes, and the same thing happened to the concert live, because the front man was also, and I got to meet him, and he signed my CD and stuff. It was fantastic and very like,
Yeah,
whatever that, what would you call that? Relaxed.
As a general rule, I'd just recommend anyone beware of anything with the name ASRAM.
Not how it's pronounced, but
well, different
Jenny,
languages.
I'm going to send this photo.
Nirvana. Out at the I've seen Nirvana live in concert. That was good.
That would be cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I didn't even know I was going. I just got a free ticket, and then I just turned up, and there they were on stage. Like, who are these guys? I didn't even follow them. Crazy.
Oh, so okay, here we go. Live stream.
Basement Jacks.
Oh yeah, I say them. They're amazing.
That was
at
great.
The big day out.
Yeah.
When Metallica were playing.
That was good. Yeah,
same.
Metallica, wasn't it?
Can you guys see this?
Because
here we go.
Yes, ma'am. We're bringing it up.
Okay. Can you see which one might be me?
Where are you? There you are.
This is Mr. Laurie. Okay, who was a little bit vicious and loved pottery and Lord of the Rings, and he used to sculpt everything in the shape of Lord of the Rings. He had leather-bound books. He had big, meaty hands that were quite dry because he touched a lot of clay. He had a real anger problem. And this was our school. And that right there.
There she is. Oh. Gosh, she looks so much like little our baby girl. What's Valentina? Wow. That's incredible.
A shy wee thing.
Yeah, that's the Asher. That's Steiner.
That Steiner
Yeah, what's-
School.
Was that in
In
Auckland?
Langholm.
Oh,
Yeah, it was in Langholm. Yeah.
I want you to close up on the guy
Okay.
to your right. The guy with the red top on. Wonder what he's doing now. He looks like he might be a cop.
Mate, he is fucking awesome. Okay, he was just the most gung-ho dude you'll ever meet. Like, he reminds me of Bart Simpson. He was 100% Bart Simpson all the time. And yeah, he was pretty funny. He was very positive, but like up to no good 24/7.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, pretty funny.
What
I'm just
about the
quickly-
white-out kid?
Now, this
Go-
young
go
man
Thane.
here, this
Yeah,
young man
that was a
here,
bowl cut.
he
Yeah.
used to breed guinea pigs. And
We were talking guinea pigs.
So-
Okay.
I have always been very entrepreneurial. Okay, so we had no money when I grew up, and so I always wanted pets, and I just had this fucking obsession for having pets, but we couldn't afford to
Yes.
buy any pets. So Mum was like, "No, you can't have it.
No.
Sorry, unless." And this is where she made a really big mistake. Unless you find it for free, or you can earn the money. And I was like, okay, no problem. At that point, we had the trade and exchange. Andrew, my friend here with the bowl cut, had a guinea pig. Mum's like, there's nowhere for this guinea pig to live, Soph. No. I'm like, no problemo, mate. I'm going to build it a little coop. So I went and onto the trade and exchange, whatever, you know, when you get that and you open
free.
it up and there's like the free bit.
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
scour every day, scouring what's in the free section that I can build this little coop with. And so I'd go and collect bits of chicken wire and all this random crap from people's homes. And of course, Mum unfortunately had to drive me. If it wasn't in walking distance, and so she was cursing it. But I ended up building a guinea pig enclosure and also breeding guinea pigs because I saw it as a really great way to make some extra cash in order to afford the chinchilla that I wanted, which was a random animal that then I built another coop and managed to buy one on
Oh my god.
your trade and exchange.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Chinchilla.
Yes.
Now, is it
A
true
chinchilla.
that chinchillas, you have to keep their fur dry and they have to take dust baths?
Yes, that is correct. I'll show you what a little chinchilla looks like if you don't know already, because
Um,
they're bloody adorable.
Can I just say,
Can you see that?
responding to this, Stefan, it's Retro Rama, I think, was Grant Marshall's night. Yes, chinchilla, everybody.
They're
Look
kind
at
of
that.
like a
Look
gorgeous,
at that
cute version
beautiful
of an
face.
Ewok. Because if you get
Mhm.
the wet, they die.
Wow.
And you know what,
So
my mate?
I don't know
So-
if it's true.
Yes.
What's that, Jamie?
What were you saying?
My mate
Look,
used
this
to
one.
call Steiner the Christian hippie school.
Yeah,
Very
it was
cool,
like
cool.
it was
And-
probably not as cool as it sounds because it was pretty horrific. I don't know about Michael Park.
I like to sort of
Oh, you
pronounce
know.
it. I like to pronounce it like
Yeah.
the Jewish way, as in Steiner, and I also like to say Einsteiner because it
Yeah.
just sounds cool
was-
as hell. What do you think you are going to at school? Freaking a little Einsteiner?
Einsteiner.
it's-
Yeah, it was crazy.
Shut
Right.
do
Yeah.
you reckon you learned some good stuff though from Steiner that has
Uh,
accidentally become a part of your life? You're like, oh yeah, I never thought I'd use that, but I can build a boat.
Build a hut.
No, no, I don't know. I guess I
Guinea pig.
learned how to make
Chinchilla
friends.
coop.
Like a couple of my best friends are from Steiner, but they all dropped out and went to normal schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know. 'cause
yeah, what you're asking is, can he build an ark for all your animals? Does
That's
he know?
exactly.
Is this
That's exactly.
story of the-
what
are we as fucking Bible studies? Are
There
you
was a lot of that.
Moses?
Yeah.
Hey Hayden, did you just say I was the person with the coloured vest on? I am mortally wounded. That is not me. That was my old teacher, Mr. Lorry.
Trying
Were
to
you in
think,
shy
did I
school?
learn
And,
anything?
Was I shy
Sorry?
at school?
Yeah, did you learn anything, Jamie, at Einstein?
Well, I left school without being able to read or write, so then I
What?
went to a normal school for. Well, that's probably an exaggeration, but pretty much. I left the
tell
normal
you-
school, went to Ponsonby Intermediate, and then went to
Was it
2
traumatic?
years. Oh, I don't know if it was traumatic. I wouldn't send my kids there.
Like
My stepdad
going
sends
into that,
kids.
into the normal school though, like being so behind, because I
Illiterate.
did the same thing, and I didn't know my times. I still don't know my times tables properly. I'm very intelligent in other ways, but in traditional like math, I'm really good at English and stuff, but math, oh
Yeah.
my god, like shocker.
I mean, hey,
Yeah,
timetables,
it's-
that's overrated. You know, you just get yourself one of them, their Casio FX82s. You know, scientific. You can do science on it. Trust the science calculator. Trust the science. Jamie, over to you.
I think, I don't know, like, I used to be, at school I was real ashamed of it. I'd just sit at the class and not do my work, you know, but then now I get older, I think it's a part of me, and so then I'll just embrace it now, you know, but technology's helped heaps, like, you can't spell anything, I just say it into Google, and it tells you, and then my young fella's dyslexic as well, he can't spell to save himself, but my mum's an English teacher actually, and she used to say, as long as I could read the paper and work out how much pay I should get at the end of the week from doing so many hours, then I'll probably do all right in life.
You know what? I say that to my daughter. I like, do you know any 30-year-old that can't read, you know, a basic whatever it is, or read a text or send a text, you know? You're going to get there in the end. As long as you
But to be fair, I have, because of my experience with Steiner School, I've been very, like, you've got to be studious, and I drill on it, and I'm like, unfortunately, I can't help them with math because they've surpassed me at 11 and 10. But yeah, I very much think it's a good thing to push kids to do the best they can and help them as well to understand it.
I don't even know what the divided by line was for up till probably 5 years ago. Till the wife was like, "Oh, you just divide something by 4," and I'm like, "I've been sitting there trying to times everything and work, and you still get the same result, but it would take me 10 times longer." You know, like, so it's just things like that. But then I explain it to people is I'm like, imagine going to Japan or somewhere that you've never known you can't read the language, and you've walked into McDonald's and you need to order something, but you don't know, you can't read the menu, so you just go that point to that one.
I can help you with that, my friend, because you know what's the main. I've actually identified this. It's funny you bring it up. I identified about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Most keyboards don't actually have the divided by symbol on them. Up here in the brain for thinking. So that explains why fundamentally in the world there's only plus, minus, and times, because the times isn't even on there either. That's an X. That's represented by an X or a star. So these keyboards, they're out of date, and they're getting in the way of your learning, your book learning, up in your melon, you know, you smarts.
You're learning. Hey, guys, that's me for the night. I'm out of here, but I'll just hand over to Benny Mack. It's all you, Benny. I'll see everybody tomorrow from 9 o'clock. Who we got? We got Bomber Bradbury on tomorrow, and hang around, Jamie. That'll be great.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay,
I was just going to start.
See you tomorrow.
If you don't mind.
See you later.
We can still chat.
Of course.
Yeah, feel free, mate.
So I'm still
feel
here.
Free. Start up the rig.
Thank you guys for enduring my personal interest in sharing my schooling conversation, and thank you for being such wonderful participants in this conversation this evening around the vaccination stuff. It was a really good time.
Yeah, sure was.
It was,
and nobody was upset. It was great.
And thank you to Mack Bowden. It was great to have that his opinion, and it was a particularly good show with him tonight.
It was great. Right, guys, we will see you tomorrow. I hope that you join us, and it'll be fun. Bye.
Thank you so much.
see ya.
Okay, so that was a
So it's just you.
freaking excellent show again tonight. Yeah, we've got open talk now, ladies and gentlemen. We have got open talk. We just want to take this opportunity to thank our presenters, Thane Kirby, Sophia Mantell, Luke Dallow, and your brother Benny Mack. Man, oh man, have you got any interior lighting that you can manage to switch on there? Or
Yes. This one's not. Yeah, this one's not as good as the other one. What are we? Oh, hold on.
Oh, buddy. Oh, yeah, that's suitable. That's suitable for the stream. I mean, if I can...
Yeah, is that all right?
Oh, is it dimmable?
Oh.
You can wind it up like
Dimmable.
another 20%. Yeah, we'll wind it up, mate. One. Yeah, that's acceptable. Okay, that's acceptable for the stream. And I don't think that the man is going to have a problem with your transitioning the high in that fashion. Okay, we're going to just bring up the relevant information. Hey, if anyone wants to get involved with the best Jiminy Christmas, it's involved. That is the information guide. It's basically
Yeah, I'll have to... Sorry, I
you
can't
wanna
really
find
see.
that in chat if it's easier for you. Okay, well that's fine, my friend. What you got to do, my brother. I appreciate you. You can stay right. You are, friend. Stay as you are, friend. We are creating broadcasting content. Do you have like a screen-mounted phone holder so that you can sort of show the highway view, or is that an improbability and also an impossibility?
Oh, yeah, I should. Oh, yes, here we are. I'll just hold it up. We'll be right. Can you see
Oh,
that?
no.
There?
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it. You don't need to hold it, my friend. But I was just thinking if you had an easy way of doing it, it could be a solution to the situation.
No, I need,
but of course,
yeah. I need
okay,
to get
you
a
keep
phone
your hands.
holder.
You keep your hands on the wheel, my friend, and we will We'll get that. We want to get the produce there on time because we've made a commitment to the supplier. You know, we've made a commitment, a verbal commitment, and even there's been a digital contract signed. We've said to the supplier, we're going to haul this produce across the damn country for the last thing we do. Mr. Lee, what are you hauling? Are you able to disclose that information?
Yeah, rubbish.
Okay, so this product is, actually we've been through this, haven't we? What you do is you take the rubbish, you haul that up to the freaking mountains, okay? So we're going to take that, we're going to take your trash, not necessarily yours, but is it Wagga trash? Well, whose trash is it?
Brisbane.
Whose garbage is it?
Yeah,
oh, Brizzies. Okay, so we're going to take all of Brizzies. Jesus. Okay, we're going to take all of Brizzies' trash up the fucking Blue Mountains, and we're going to create a multiple coloured mountain, aren't we? Out of trash. Yeah, we're going to create a trash mountain. And,
pretty
and the cool
much.
thing is, and what do? There's a recycling plant up there, eh? We've built a recycling plant in the Blue Mountains.
I know what's a good idea, mate. Is what we'll do is we'll recycle all Brisbane's paper, mate, and then we'll chuck it on a truck. We'll cart it halfway around the country, and then we'll recycle it to bring it halfway back again. And we'll sell it to the people. The people can buy it, and then I'll get it again for free when they throw it away.
Yeah, and we'll do it up in the Blue Mountain. Yeah. Don't you think that'd be a problem doing it up in the Blue Mountain because you're going to destroy the koala habitat? Fuck the koalas. They can go fuck themselves. They're chlamydia-ridden bastards.
Up in the snowies.
What we're going to do is, those big cardboard drums of cardboard that they sort of recycle and make these days? We're going to fill them full of fucking koalas and cart them halfway around the equator, all the way up to Darwin, and feed them to the crocodiles at a tourist attraction, and people will pay like $59.99 to see one of these cute koalas on a string, fed to a live croc. I know it sounds scary, but it's tourism at its finest. Y'all can we're taking live callers. You know, it's part of the live show. You know. Caller.
Yeah.
We are taking live callers. I wonder if there's any.
I want to hear from an anti-vaxxer.
We want to hear from an anti-vaxxer. If you are an anti-vaxxer, get on the line. We want to hear
a
from
crazy
you.
one, though. What the?
We want a real aggressive one.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
We want a real aggressive one. Yeah. But hey man, this is an awesome ass show, and you know, I don't want to do this show disservice, because I tell you, they've done such a good job tonight. We really need to sort of put out the line. Get on the line, guys. Get on the line. You won't regret it one little bit. I can guarantee that it's going to be quite possibly the conversation of your life. This would be what I'd say one of those sort of formative conversations where you know, it's going to be a life-changing experience. It's like talking Gandhi. Like, say, imagine I'm Gandhi and I've just walked up like Mount Everest. You know, it's what it's like. We're going to be enlightened here tonight. We've just spoken to Matt Bowden. We've got new ideas. We've taken truth knowledge. We've put them all with new ideas. We've got vitamin D. We've got zinc. We're gonna prick our freaking fingers and reimagine the knowledge. So I mean, we're gonna take all our learnings from tonight. What I'm thinking is this show should be transcribed so that we can have it played back psychologically on a sort of what's the term, subconscious level. We'll just sort of, you know, turn it down really low and just have it sort of, you know, transmitted into your cerebellum there. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing with show. It is a conversation. It's a opportunity.
How's that?
To conversate. Oh, that's excellent. I can sort of judge your speed there. Ah, check one.
Got ya?
Check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah, for crying out loud, yeah, we've had an audio issue. Hey, thanks for that. Makes that how long we've been muted for the last 10 minutes. Makes sense. Makes sense. Check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hey, we appreciate you. We just had some technical difficulties. Of course, this has been a brilliant broadcast. Thanks again to the presenters for coming through and making it all happen. Just like that. Thane, Kirby, Sophia, Mantel, Luke, Dallow, Benny, Mack. And thanks to Papinel's Sleepwear, Chapel Bar and Bistro, and Lover Pie. I don't know if you've won a Lover Pie pie pack, but I tell you, they are some of the best pies you can get. Thanks again, everybody, for coming through. It's been real. And thanks to everybody in the chat. It's been your... Cool. And I'll finish the show with our official outro. Boom.